Welcome back to Zettovyker Awesome. I'm zettovyker to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo Act 2-4 Scars of Hanako Storyline.
I make sure my door is locked after dropping off my school bag. The dorms are quiet. Muto kept me occupied longer than expected, discussing my studies after class ended and pressing on me some worksheets to give to Hanako almost as an afterthought. Absorbed in thought, I'm late in registering the shadow that appears in front of me. Looking up reveals the owner of said shadow.
Hey man, haven't seen you in a while. Oh, hi.
What's with that response? My absent-minded greeting visibly annoys him. I'd probably have had that same reaction.
Sorry, just thinking about a lot of stuff.
Thinking that's a pretty poor excuse to not be aiding the war effort.
And how goes the war?
I'm preparing. Right now, I need the money to help with those preparations.
If you want me to loan money, just say it.
No, man. I'm good.
You're good? You don't want my money?
Hey, man. Don't look surprised. It's insulting. I'm a pretty big in the competitive bowling scene, but yesterday, I found some guys who didn't know that.
I'm fairly sure that betting would be against the school rules.
School rules don't matter. It's the war situation. People these days, they have no appreciation for what the war means.
So, what do you need this money for, dare I ask?
Non-perishable canned food. Building materials, mostly congregated iron and wood panels. First aid kit, camping heater, portable radio, sleeping bag, flashlight, mechanical clock. At first it strikes me as a rather random assortment of objects and materials, but after a few seconds, it clicks.
Isn't that a list of materials for a fallout shelter?
Ah, so you read a project and survived real quick. It's good to see someone so knowledgeable about how to protect themselves.
You don't seriously think?
It's a non-zero possibility.
No, I'm pretty sure there's a zero possibility of that ever happening.
He slowly and dramatically raises an eyebrow. Well, as dramatically as one can raise an eyebrow.
The chance is, I don't know, 0.1 to the trillionth place. It's infinitesimal. Besides, where can you build a fallout shelter anyway? Certainly not on campus.
It's my summer holiday project while I'm at home. My dad said I can do it.
Really?
Yeah, he thought it improved my crafting skills and manual dexterity, or something. Knowing Kenji, his dad probably just thought it might keep him out of his hair for a while. Still, it does make me wonder what his parents are like. Maybe they're totally normal, and Kenji is just an aberration. On the other hand, maybe this kind of paranormal and fearful survivalism runs in the family. Hey, want me to help me build it? You look like the type to be handy with tools. If I had your help, we could make a really badass bunker instead of just a fallout shelter. I doubt that. Playing soccer before my accident gave me good footwork, but I've never really tried my hand at anything approaching real handiwork.
I'm not really. I'm busy over the holidays anyways, I'm afraid.
A shame. If the feminists ever get a hold of the launch codes, I fear that so few will be prepared.
And your fallout shelter will protect you from a nuclear bomb explosion, in the case that this does happen.
A fallout shelter isn't meant to protect against a blast. It's what a blast shelter is for. I thought you knew better.
My mistake.
My home's pretty far away from any major military sites, so a fallout is following a nuclear exchange is a bigger concern than the blast itself. What does what this will do is keep the dust and other particles away from me, my food supply, and sleeping area. It's gotta last me at least 14 days though.
14 days is a pretty long time.
It is. I need 1 liter of water a day for drinking, optimally so that I can wash as well. Toiletry is easy enough, just garbage bags and a bin placed outside the shelter area. Food means can't supplies, of course.
Of course. And the radio is for outside communication?
Right. So I can pick up the government alerts on what's going on outside. I need a medical clock rather than an electric one in the case the electromagnetic pulse from a nuclear airburst fries it too. There's all the other stuff I need as well, like extra clothing, matches, and candles. I think I still have time to gather it all though. Maybe. As much as I hate to say it, I'm a little impressed. He's really researched his type and thought it through. Then again, I don't know if I want to live in a post-apocalyptic world where only people like Kenji have survived.
It sounds like you really know what you're doing.
Damn right I do. Must be hard living in constant fear like this. He hardly ever socializes either, so the fact he went bowling with others is in itself something of a surprise. This mentality reminds me of a little certain someone. Thankfully, her fear of others doesn't manifest in a distinctive, eccentric way. One thing I know for sure is that certainly I can't tell exactly why I haven't been hanging around with him much recently.
It's late. I have stuff to do. I'll think about making a fallout shelter or something, though.
Yeah, alright, that's cool. A man has to do what he's gotta do after all. You should hang out with me sometime. By the way, you're a cool dude. Cool dudes should hang out together, right? For some reason, that compliment actually feels kinda nice. The situation with Hanako being what it is, though, means that I probably won't be able to fulfill his request. For now, at least.
That'd be good. I'll talk to you later about it when I can.
Cool, later, dude. He retreats to his dormitory room. I had better go see Hanako. I stand outside the door to Hanako's room, hoping that she isn't in it too much of a state as I nervously clutch the worksheets Muto asked me to pass to her. It's one more reason to visit her, and give me something to talk about, so I suppose I should be thankful for him for giving me the task. With a long breath to steady myself, I wrap my knuckles on the door in front of me. Silence. I listen intently for any sound of shuffling coming from inside, but I can't hear a thing. I knock on the door again, slightly harder. Still no answer. How strange. Scratching my head, I make one last attempt at getting her to answer as I knock on the door one final time.
Hanako, it's just me. Muto said to give you some stuff.
For a while, the attempt seems just as unsuccessful as the last. Just before I slip the sheets under her door, though, I hear the handle rattling. As the door opens halfway, I quickly try to see how Hanako's faring. It's a task made somewhat more difficult by her oversized gown hiding so much of her body. She doesn't look sick, or at least not immediately so. To be honest, I have preferred that to her expression right now. She looks terribly tired and appears to be barely acknowledging my presence.
Hi, Hanako. Muto wanted me to give you these since you weren't in class today.
I held out the loose sheets, which she tentatively takes into her hands. The way she moves is devoid of thought. Her posture is slumped in an unusual manner for someone that's so often tense and wound up. Even her eyes keep looking away from mine, doing their best to avoid eye contact. I move my head a little to try to get a better look, but she ends up turning away.
Are you okay? If you're feeling sick or anything, I could go get a nurse.
It feels almost pitiful to put on such a routine, get well soon act. I can't think of anything else I could possibly do for her though. She seems to collect herself a little bit at the notion, but only a little. Her head remains turned away, but her eyes move towards me.
I'm fine.
An awkward silence follows. As it lingers, I notice that the sleeves and the cuffs of her gown bear slightly damp stains. Her cheeks are a bit red too. Has she been crying?
I see.
I hesitate a little before coming out with the words, I really came here to say.
Would you like me to stay? I don't have anything urgent to do at the moment, so it wouldn't be any trouble.
Her eyes slide away from me, and I lose any hope for improvement of her mood. I wait for a response, but she doesn't say anything, nor give any kind of gesture. She just stands there looking away from me.
Hanako?
She slowly shakes her head.
Okay. Good night then.
With that, Hanako steps back and closes her door without a second word. More than a little worried, I retreated back to my room. Wandering up the hallway, I keep mulling over what happened. I felt like Hanako was only half there, as if I was interacting with a robot that was just doing what it was programmed to without any real thought. She was a husk of a person. This is frustrating. I had hoped that meeting Hanako would help the situation, but I feel like it only made her harder to understand her. How am I supposed to try and help her when she's quite literally shuts me out like that? I don't even bother to turn on the lights, opting instead to simply change into my pajamas, quickly choke down my evening pills, and collapse into my bed.
Hope you liked this episode. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave your comments below, and subscribe to see the rest of the story. Until next time, folks, I'll see you guys then.